Welcome to my new mini series as part of posting every day in August, where for the next few videos, I'm going to share with you some of the biggest career lessons that I have had in my almost 15-year career working in big tech and startups. Now, as much as I've been a tech girly through and through, I am not here to share ordinary lessons about how to be a better performer, how to do better at your job, none of the tactical executional level stuff. I am here to share the big lessons that are going to shift your mindset, that are going to help you think about how to elevate and upgrade how you think about creating a meaningful career. Whatever meaningful looks like to you, by the way, because meaning for one person could be climbing the corporate ladder. Meaning for someone else could be maximizing time with their family and a career that fits that. To someone else, it could be a career that is fully in alignment with their passions and their interests. So whatever meaning looks like for you, I just want to share the lessons that have really helped me to navigate my career in a way that has always served me. And now being in a season of figuring out what I want to do next, how those lessons are still helping me as I move forward. Now, with that being said, let's get into the first lesson that I want to share with you, which is also a bit of a hot take, but this lesson is that your job should benefit you just as much, if not more, than you are benefiting your job. So basically, my belief here is twofold. One, your job should always be serving you. And secondly, every job or every stage in your career should leave you better than it found you. I think that goes for almost any situation in life. We always want to be better off doing something or leaving something than when we first got there. A lot of the things that we think about when it comes to jobs are money and skills and opportunities. And while those things are very important and relevant, I believe there is so much more that you can extract from each job that you have. You can extract things like confidence. Maybe you have a job where you have to just show up in front of lots of different people all the time. Maybe you have to present a lot. Guess what? That's going to be building your confidence in some way, even if it doesn't feel like it. And there's obviously communication skills. For me personally, working in product management, what I've always enjoyed is how many different people I have to speak to. That means I have to speak in a different way. I have to tailor my message and what I'm saying and how I'm saying it to every person, to every discipline that they're in. If they're in legal, I'm going to explain things very differently to how I might explain something to a product designer versus someone in sales versus a customer. And even going back to my graduate job, straight out of university, I worked at a Big Four consulting company. And as much as I realized consulting was not for me, I cannot deny biggest advantage I got from that experience was being able to turn up and talk to anyone, being able to turn up and question a business leader about their business, asking the right questions. Just the art and the act of having to turn up and talk to someone who I don't know anything about, I don't know how their business runs, maybe I don't even know anything about the industry, was a skill that I really did take for granted until recent years. Other things you can extract from a job are perspective. Like maybe you are working in a new industry that you didn't know too much about before. You are going to walk away with so much perspective about things that you didn't have before. And who knows how that might shape what you do next or other decisions you might make. So on and so forth. I could go on for days. But ultimately, we are so used to measuring a job by the role, the title that we have, how much we're progressing in that role, and obviously the money. And don't get me wrong, the money is very important. And I believe there are chapters and seasons in your life where it's all about the money. It's to support your family, to grow your investments, to buy a property. There are seasons where it's okay to do a job just for the money. But I also think it's helpful if you acknowledge that so you know the trade-off that you are making. Because from my own experience, you can end up working a job that is fantastic monetarily, but maybe you don't really enjoy it and it's not something you want to do forever, but you've intentionally made that choice and you know why you are there and why you are doing it. So instead of just measuring ourselves by, again, the title, the money, the progression, why do we not measure ourselves against all of these other things? That's how I've started thinking about every step of my career. And I think the biggest question you can ask is really, am I still growing? Am I getting better in some way? Whether that better is financially, whether it's in terms of your skills, whether it's terms of your perspective or your narrative, like what is that better metric for you? And if there is no better, if you've hit the capacity, if you've tapped out, then I think that's a time to really start asking questions about what it is that you should do next. I also have to add that this is not about exploiting your employer. This is just making sure that you are getting as much value as you possibly can from every situation that you are putting yourself in. Again, those things could be skills, but they could also be lessons. They could be relationships. They could be other opportunities. And when you're no longer getting that, then that job is potentially no longer serving you. Now, it's very easy for me to sit here and say all this now because I've learned this the hard way. I've taken very intentional steps in my career because I wanted to work at a particular company. I wanted that brand on my CV. Or I thought by doing this, I would get to travel, or yes, I would earn more money. But I never thought about the other value that I would get. And that's why this is a lesson that I wanted to share, because I wish I had this lens of thinking about opportunities that have come my way and how they could serve me in ways that were not monetary, that were not about the title, that were not about the growth. This doesn't mean that you should know what is and isn't going to serve you before you're in it. A lot of this is being in it and figuring it out while you're there. But I think having this general framing in your mind is definitely helpful. So that's lesson 1. Stay tuned for lesson 2, which is going to be all about following the breadcrumbs. And that'll be up tomorrow in my next rep in this mini series as part of posting every day in August.